Hey, welcome to Flip the Switch with Allie, where, satire and reality are like happening at the same time. None of us really know what's going on, but here we are. Today, we are going to talk about, I couldn't really figure out what to call it, but the best thing that I could think of was ancient aliens, just because basically we're going to be looking at a couple of different, very interesting subjects. First off, there was a UFO that was shot down by Russia. And I want to give a shout out to that real quick, or at least I heard that that's what happened. So I haven't had much of an opportunity to look too much into it, but that in itself sparked a couple of questions. So then I was like, what about that UFO that was over Vegas not that long ago? It was above the Sapphire Gentlemen's Club in Las Vegas, and a lot of people shot it. Not shot it, like shot it, but a lot of people got it on video. So there's plenty of footage out there with it. And of course, while we were trying to download the one that I wanted to download, it just would not download. So neither would the other one, ironically. But it's pretty popular out there. I'm sure if you Google search, UFO over Sapphire Gentlemen's Club in Vegas, you'll see it. It's crazy. So I was looking through TikToks and things of that nature about, these UFOs. And then somebody mentioned that there's all this fog that is for like 3 days straight. Almost the entire globe was just covered in fog after we had that really, really cold weather and then the really warm weather like the very next day. Or at least that's how it was here in Cleveland. But I noticed that there has been fog, and this lady was like, there's been fog for 3 days. What do you think they're hiding? And I'm like, probably nothing, like you're probably just out of your mind. But I noticed that one of the hashtags said Nibiru in Planet X. And so Nibiru in Planet X is a planet that is far beyond, Jupiter and Pluto and all that out there. And it's on an elliptical orbit. So it has a funky orbit around the sun. And it only comes around every 3,600 years. So I started digging into that a little bit. And then come to find out, so they believe that Nibiru, the ancient Sumerians believed that Nibiru was the planet that the Anunnaki lived on when they came to Earth and created humans. Okay, so we're going to unpack all of that in today's episode and just kind of go over it step by step. I do have some really awesome clips that we're going to watch here in a little bit that kind of go into these things further in detail. So we'll get to those as well. And I want to go ahead and say, if you guys have any kind of comments, you want to call in, anything like that, we're going to go ahead and if you guys comment underneath, I will go ahead and see it. I will read it. I will you can communicate with me that way. But if you want to call in, I'm going to say we have a phone number. You could just call in. We could talk about it. You can be on the show too. Don't be shy. Okay, it's just me, and trust me, even though I'm popular in my own damn mind, it's really just friends here. So just give me a call. Our phone number is 419-971-4102. Call in, If you have questions, comments, if you've ever seen a UFO yourself, anything like that, or, if you have any kind of information about ancient aliens or anything like that, let's talk about it. So, and so there's this other thing that I just kind of stumbled into while I was on the conspiracy train before I took my tinfoil hat off. So there's this guy, Andrew Dawson. He's a TikTok user, and he recorded giants, supposedly, in the mountains in Canada. And he is dead, supposedly. But
so now, this guy is confirmed to be dead, like, a month or two
there's
after
that.
he shot his video.
That as well. So, let's get into
Most of the important videos from his page
a little
hopefully this doesn't get taken
a little
down.
bit of yeah, that's okay. We'll get into that a little bit later, but let's go ahead and talk about the UFO that's over the strip club in Vegas. Okay, because when I couldn't find enough information about the UFO that was supposedly shot down by Russia, that was like the next thing that came to the feed. So so many people got to record this image, okay? And it's just a couple of red lights, and there was like 3 other lights that was around it, and it was on the other side of the clouds, so it was above the clouds, and so many people got so many different angles of this UFO, and nobody's denying that it's a UFO, and everybody was just kind of like, oh, there's a UFO outside, we're gonna like go record it and have lunch with it or something, I don't know. So a whole bunch of people went outside with their phones and recorded this thing, and I wish that I had the footage for you because it is so freaking amazing. So while I was looking at that, there's a couple of other things that that popped up along the way. This thing was metal, it was reflective. So not only did the lights that the strip club were shining up into the sky reflect off of whatever it was, but so many people got it. I encourage you, after the show, go ahead and just look at it. To me, it just looks like lights that are above the clouds, but they don't move. They sat there for a very long time. I haven't seen any footage of them moving at all to say whether, like, oh, they went that way or whatever. I haven't seen any footage that shows them switching location. So if you guys have, let me know, because I want to see it. I'm totally interested in that stuff. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is that Nibiru, or Planet X, okay? Now, it is a planet that, like I said, has this funky kind of elliptical circle around the sun. And the circle is so big that it comes and swoops right next to the sun and flies out past Pluto. It goes past the asteroid belt. It's apparently pretty large. And so I'm very skeptical of this whole situation because, yes, the scientific community acknowledges that that there is a planet out there, or that they believe there's a planet out there. But now people are saying that they've actually seen it. So here's a clip of Nibiru close up. And wait.
Here is Nibiru.
Right here.
Here is more footage and images of Nibiru, which has several moons in tow.
Do we have this out?
Nibiru is red in color and is also known as Planet X, the Winged Destroyer, and Winged Globe, which is how it often appears on NASA's SOHO device. See the wings?
Okay. All right, it's good.
Fear is
So you tell me, what do you think about that? So, I mean, is it, just a reflection that you could see on the lens? Is it actually, something that's out there with the sun? I don't know, but there's so many videos. I'm pretty sure we have another one as well that says 2 moons.
When you try to take a picture of the moon, do you notice it's actually 2 of them? And no, that is not the sun and the moon, because the sun is behind me, Saturn. So therefore, what the fuck?
Okay. And there's another one that says 2 suns.
I'm out here in September, and as you can see, there's obviously a really very clear planet that is right north of the sun. And wow, I would love to say it was the moon, but since the moon happens to be right here on the opposite side, there's no way it is. And since we all have been taught in school that Mercury and Venus do not show up, oh, just look at that planet just beaming and shining right now. Somebody tell me what it is. Thank you.
You tell me. What do you think? I mean, what is it? Clearly, we know there's not 2 moons, there's not 2 suns. So is this some sort of trickery? Are we being, tricked? Or is there something on the lens? Is this some sort of Photoshop? I don't know, but more and more people are seeing crazy stuff like this. So I'm just saying it's out there. Like, it's out there. So, the information. I'm not saying the planet is necessarily out there, like in our backyard. But I've also seen videos where it literally looks like it takes up like this much of the sky. But in my personal opinion, I believe that is just like a rainbow that's basically reddish. So I had to look further into this. I had to know more about this weird planet. And then that's when I got to the ancient Sumerians. Okay, now the ancient Sumerians, they knew about Nibiru. Now this is a civilization that was so long ago that it's hard to fathom how they couldn't, create the technology that we have with, this right here, me speaking to you over Facebook Live. We might not be able to say that they were able to do that, but they created the pyramids, and still to this day, we don't have the technology to recreate the pyramids with such great accuracy. I mean, even today, it would take us forever to create something like that. And the ancient Sumerians were right along, that same kind of ancient civilization as the Egyptians. And they knew about the stars, they knew about the planets, but we don't exactly understand how they knew all this stuff, right? Now, they knew about Nibiru. They called it the 12th planet. And it is the home planet of the Anunnaki. And apparently the Anunnaki lived on Nibiru. This is what I heard, okay? Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying. Apparently the Anunnaki were in some sort of a war on Nibiru, where their whole planet was in a nuclear war, and it was destroyed. The atmosphere was destroyed, and they needed somewhere else to go. And because Nibiru was around Earth at that time, apparently they decided, we're going to go ahead and hop over and see what's over here. And they discovered gold, which they thought, what we could do with that is possibly fix our atmosphere. How? I don't know. I'm not a scientific. Yeah, I said it. Okay, but I'm just saying, apparently that's what they thought, supposedly. Now, while they were here, they were like, man, I don't want to do all this work. Joe, do you want to do this work? And Joe was like, no, man, I don't want to do this work either, right? They're like, man, we need some slaves or something, because this is really hard. I don't want to do this shit. So they had to create something to be a bit of a workhorse, right? So they spliced their own DNA with some sort of animal here on Earth, some sort of earthling, and bam, here we are. Supposedly, that's the missing link that we'll never find because there isn't an actual bridge from apes to us. It's that our DNA was spliced. Supposedly. Who knows? But according to this theory, that's what happened. It's pretty cool. So after that, they created us, right? And they created us to be their workhorses. And then they're like, well, I don't want to take these slaves back with us. They're not going to serve any purpose on Nibiru. You know, they're just going to get hungry. Then we're going to have to feed them. They'll never leave. So they're like, well, let's just leave them here, you know? So they were like, hey, so we're basically like your gods and shit, and we'll return in 3,600 more years. And they left us here with religion, right? And so the Anunnaki is a religion, I guess. It was the religion of the ancient Sumerians and the people of Sumer. So, another cool thing about Nibiru, apparently it's a winged planet, or it looks like it's winged because it has two different, like, rings. One goes this way and one goes that way. So, it looks like it has wings, supposedly. So, the Anunnaki actually translates to the Shining Ones, okay? And if you look at it also from the Bible, the words El and Elohim, we use those words to say God. Or when we saw those words, we translated it into English as the word God. But in the Bible, originally, it's either El, Elohim, or A Elohim, which Elohim is actually used more often than El. El actually means God, singular. Elohim is actually the feminine version of that, but it could also be the plural version of it. So either God is a woman, which I'd like to believe that's true, or there's multiple gods. And so in ancient Sumeria, they believed in multiple gods. So some people say, maybe, the Christian God is actually the Anunnaki, multiple gods, and it was just lost in translation. Interesting theory. Who really knows? Not me. But going back on this theory, we have Elohim, which is going to be, like I said, the Anunnaki, the Shining Ones. And apparently they were also either, some people believe that they were the angels of the Bible or that they were the giants of the Bible. Okay, now I have another video, and we're going to go ahead and talk about this Andrew Dawson guy, okay? Because he's the guy that supposedly recorded a giant in Canada, okay? And this giant was on a mountain.
Now, this guy is confirmed to be dead like a month or two after he shot this video, and apparently the CIA. I've included most of the important videos from his page on here. Hopefully this doesn't get taken down. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of really weird stuff going on with.
Dude, if you seen what I seen right now.
So pretty much he said in a couple of his other videos that I didn't put in here because I didn't want this to be 10 minutes long, that he was going to go check it out and try and get closer, and that he tried to go there and that he got stopped by a CIA agent, but he didn't video it. So he went back, and this is the video he got from that.
What's going on?
Road's closed. Turn around.
Really?
Yeah, man. Just turn around, please.
Oh, okay.
Keep in mind, like, this whole video, that this guy is actually confirmed to be really dead now, after he said the CIA was going to kill him. So now, here's where it gets really trippy. Like, if you didn't think this was already trippy enough, this is where it starts to get a little bit weirder. So he's now back at home, and that same car, who he's claiming was the CIA, is at his house, which is trippy. One thing that I find a little skeptical about this is this guy seems to have an aftermarket exhaust or something like that. But the next video here,
I just want to give you an update. I'm not dead.
people are literally trying to say that this is, oh, he said that it's all fake. You can clearly see this is scripted. He looks over like he's being told to say this with a gun pointed at him. Okay? If you guys want the original videos without me talking over him, go look up Andrew Dawson. His page is still up. Look, right here, he's looking over. And then the next video, he says, no, you guys, this is all real. You guys probably won't see me again very often.
You might not see me post ever again. My videos weren't fake.
Right here. And then this is where I posted my last video because people are saying that this thing disappeared, and I said no, it's still there, and that has nothing to do with this being a military operation, in my opinion.
What is
But
that?
I do think this man saw something, and I do think the CIA suicided
That was not
him.
there yesterday.
Okay. So that now that guy actually because I couldn't hear it while you guys were listening to it, but I have watched that whole thing. So basically he saw that gigantic creature, and then he said the CIA started following him around. And then eventually he made a TikTok that was like, you'll probably never see me post anything again. And it was titled like, I'm scared. And then nobody heard from him again. And then in July, let me see, July 1st of 2022, there was an obituary that said that he passed. So, I mean, we all know that the CIA likes to do whatever they want to do. And, I mean, they really are like the Men in Black, aren't they? I mean, it's been documented that they have literally wiped people's memories or did their best to try. So it's not like this would be far-fetched, you know, compared to what they've already done. But come on, that is so interesting, right? So then you also have to wonder, you know, a lot of people are saying, it's doomsday, it's the final days, and people have been saying that forever, and people will be saying that forever. But in all honesty, you know, like, are we in the end of days? Is Earth not hell? Who knows, right? So some religious people believe that Nibiru is responsible for things like Sodom and Gomorrah and Noah's flood, and that basically all of the things that have happened to destroy Earth, they've actually done because they are actually, you know, God. And so that's one way of looking at it. I don't know. I think that might be a little far-fetched, but, you know, there is definitely scientific evidence of huge, massive floods, basically worldwide floods, and, or at least in, you know, the Middle Eastern area where it was completely covered at one point. And there's so many different religions that have the same kind of topics about, you know, floods, and in certain religions, like, you know, Noah built the ark. And then there was one religion that has a giant fish that a man lived in. And there's all these different mythologies that people talk about but don't talk about enough, in my opinion. Because this shit is cool. I mean, at least to me it is. So, let's see. Do we have what other videos do we have? Do we play them all yet? Okay, yes. Now there are some people who are naysayers, all right, that are like, listen, this is all just ridiculous, and the earth is flat, and, you know, that are always going to say, you know, that's not true. That's not what this is. Okay, so some people believe that there's a projector theory. I don't truly understand it myself. I'm not sure if they're trying to say that the sun is being projected because it's fake, or I didn't really understand if they were saying that the projection was like hiding the fact that Nibiru was between us and the sun. I'm not exactly sure. So you go ahead and watch this and you tell me what you think.
This is a very important video. This is more proof of the black sun.
Oh, wait,
and
that's
also
not the
more
right
proof that my pinned videos is actually the truth about life. No lies here, man. The truth hurts.
Shaped projector.
Oh, yeah.
And also a reflection of the planet that is currently eclipsing the sun. The southeast facing camera in Klawock, Alaska shows another good image of a reflection of the projector and also a reflection of the planet that is currently eclipsing the sun. Notice how the bell is always aimed toward the sun so that it can keep projecting a circular glare onto the sun as the eclipsing planet passes behind the manufactured light, completely concealing the eclipse. If we draw a line from the center of the manufactured light to the reflection of the projector, the eclipsing planet always falls upon that line. Always. Remember where this line is, because we're going to see the eclipsing planet in the next few frames. Now look closely, because this planet is very difficult to see, even with contrast applied, because the atmospheric chemicals are so heavy and continuously sprayed throughout the entire world to hide this inbound planetary system. These are all signs that we are living in the very, very last days. These projectors are also used at nighttime whenever our moon is being eclipsed. This footage was captured by the south-facing weather camera located in Harris River Pass, Alaska. Now, look closely, because here we see the moon moving from the left to the right, which is normal across the screen, while the reflection of the projector appears to move in the opposite direction. It's very hard to see at nighttime, so look closely. The reason that the projector appears to move in the opposite direction is because we are seeing a reflection of the projector and not the actual equipment. The projector usually begins appearing on the right side of the screen as a
Okay.
This is a very important video. This is more proof of the black sun.
Now,
and also more proof that my
some
pinned
people think that the
videos
Anunnaki
is actually
are like reptilians, and that they're already here on the earth, and that they're just shapeshifters. And, the shapeshifter or reptilian theory are very interesting as well. So then I found this next clip that we're going to go ahead and go to. And it's basically about some basketball players that look like they're like morphed. You might have seen these before, but they're very interesting.
What's up, TikTok? So today's video is in reference to the Changeling and Reptilian video that I did recently. So she's never seen the video where Chris Brown goes to dunk the ball and his fingers grow like a foot each. Once he realizes what's happening, he takes his ET phone Holmes and he balls him up and puts him behind his back where he thinks no one can see it. Now I got a couple of other videos to show you too, but let's start off with that.
Aliens, and I like learning, I like being stuff that's other than what everybody expects,
Now, if that wasn't weird enough, recently during a basketball game, player Jetty Osman gets hit in the face and he starts bleeding yellow blood all over the floor. It's so alarming, in fact, that you could hear other players in the background saying, "What the fuck, and why is it yellow?" Now, I couldn't reply to you both, but I do want to give a shout out to Mr. 1183 for bringing this up in the last video. Now let's get into it.
Inside. Fouled on the shot try. Down he goes, and down goes Jetty Osmond.
Now this next one's a little up in the air. It might be a little iffy because it's so pixelated. It's old. It's from the 90s. And he's just really, really skinny. So it might just be a little optical illusion here. Now I want you guys to tell me what you think. I'm going to show you this clip from Michael Jordan, and then I'm going to slow it down and show you a couple pictures. And then meet me in the comments so we can talk about it.
Yep, there it is. Michael Jordan on the breakaway.
Now you probably missed it that time. Let's watch it again. Does that arm look a little long to you? It does to me. I might be reaching though. I might be reaching. I might be. Maybe. But not as much as he was with that one arm. So what did we learn here today? Just like Space Jam, aliens like basketball.
All right, so you tell me what you think. I mean, so there's the yellow blood.
What's up, TikTok? So
like
today's
super
video
stretch
is in
arms
reference
and
to
stuff
the
like that.
changeling and reptilian
me
video that I did recently.
Tyler saw these
So
for the
she's
first time, and I was like, "What do you think, man? Are they? Do you think they're like doctored up or edited or what?" But I mean, who knows? But that is very interesting. And the yellow blood thing, that was like in front of everybody, and I'm pretty sure it was not that long ago. So, you know, there's just some little interesting snippets there for you. Now, so there's this other video that we recently came across, and it's about Granny Mildred, and she runs into the Anunnaki herself. So let's see how that went, and enjoy this clip, brought to you by Flip Switch Industries.
Hello! Oh, what the hell? Who are you? The name's On. I'm part of the Anunnaki. Well, if you think you're gonna kill me as part of your gang initiation, you better hope I don't find my pistol first. You're the one we're looking for, Millie. I ain't no fool. I see that gangster on your shirt. Tupac? No, he's with us. He's been with us for a while, but that's a long story. So, we're studying how human behavior has changed in the past 3,600 years, and Millie, you're the prime candidate. Well, I can't leave my family behind. Kyle will be lost without me. No worries. You'll be back before they all wake up, and you'll have all the chocolate boys and bourbon you want. Chocolate boys and bourbon? Why didn't you start with that? Beam me up, Scotty. My name's On. Well, I'm ready. Perfect.
You know how Granny Mildred loves that bourbon and her chocolate boys. Yes, she's wonderful. She's also racist, and she loves black men. Good for her. So there you have it. Granny Mildred, she met the Anunnaki. Apparently, she is the perfect prime candidate to show the Anunnaki how humanity has come along in the past 3,600 years. So, I mean, if you guys have any kind of comment, question, something that you would like to talk about, like I said, you could comment, or you could go ahead and call in, and you can go ahead and be live on air. But I saw that Serena said something earlier that I wanted to at least look into. She mentioned a formation in Florida. Either way, that actually started, that made me think also about, so I don't know if you've heard of the Georgia Guidestones, but the Georgia Guidestones basically state in many different languages how the earth should be ran. Are you able to look that up real quick, Tyler? The Georgia Guidestones? So there's a certain amount of population that we're supposed to not go over, which we're like way over, and a couple other different rules. And it's, like I said, written in plenty of different languages. And does it say what they are? Oh, I can't read it from there. That's too small. Okay, so oh, there it is. So maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Can you make it a little bit bigger? Sorry, I can't see. Oh, that's nice and big. Yeah, I can see that real good. Okay, yes, perfect. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Unite humanity with a living new language. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. I am for that one. Like, now, take my money. Let's do that immediately. Balance personal rights with social duties. Prize truth, beauty, love, and seeking harmony with the infinite. And the last one is be not a cancer on earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. So here's the cool thing about the Georgia Guidestones. Nobody knows when they showed up, how long they've been there, who put them there. Like, nobody knows anything about the Georgia Guidestones, or at least who put them up there. So let's see. It says, hold on, scroll back up a little bit. The center cluster was erected March 22nd, 1980. Oh, I guess they do know when it was. So underneath of it, it says, let these be guidestones to an age of reason. Around the edges of the square were written translations for 4 ancient languages, 1 per edge, starting from the top and proceeding clockwise. They were Babylonian and Classical Greek, Sanskrit, and Ancient Egyptian. So basically, we've just got really cool stuff all over the earth, and we're just kind of sitting here with it. We don't know what a lot of it's for. I know we've talked about it before, but I mean, the pyramids, and not just the ones in Egypt, but there's several pyramids all over the world that all kind of line up with Orion's belt, which is another interesting thing that a lot of people think that Orion has actually been multiple different gods. So in Egypt, their cosmos, that they have a constellation with that belt, and it's of a god. The Greeks also, and there's many other ones as well. So we have all of these different pyramids that line up with the stars. We cannot recreate the pyramids to this day with the modern machinery that we have, as I've said before. And when I say that the pyramids were created perfectly, you cannot fit a piece of paper between the gigantic monoliths that make up the pyramids. You can't put anything past it. It is so precise, and it had to be so precise that what they're saying is that it's within laser precision. Like, we couldn't recreate it to this day with without lasers? And even with lasers, how would we get all that stuff there? I mean, we don't have to, we could go ahead and even talk about Easter Island, how it's literally just in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, just hanging out, all by itself. And it has all these huge monoliths, huge heads carved out of stone that are just all over the island. Who put them there? Why did they put them there? Then you have places like Göbekli Tepe and all these ancient sites that we're uncovering that, a lot of them tell the same story. A lot of our ancient ancestors had the same story. And then it just became divided into all of these different religions. And now we're looking at how many different religions do we have in this world, and they're all tearing us apart. And I think that's pretty messed up because I believe that spirituality and religion should always be something that brings people together. And what we're seeing today is that it's tearing people apart. And I hate to see that because, deep down at the core of every religion, there's like a set of foundation that is basically, do good to others and have others do good to you. Even the Satanic Temple, their 7 tenets are amazing. Are you able to look them up really quick? The tenets of the Satanic Temple. I mean, it's basically just do unto others as you would like to have done to yourself. But we'll go ahead and read them individually, just so that you can see for yourself. Religions, even the Satanic Temple, are basically made so that you have a good guidance system for life and to treat others with respect. So let's take a look at the first tenet. The first tenet being, one should strive to act with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason. I mean, that sounds pretty good. Like I said, do unto others as you want done to yourself. The second one, the struggle for justice is an ongoing and necessary pursuit that shows prevail over laws and institutions. I like that one a lot, actually. It's basically like saying, common sense should come before petty laws, which is actually also on the Georgia Guidestone, as we just saw. The third tenet is one's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will alone. So a lot of people use that tenet in particular when it came down to getting or not getting their vaccinations, or this religion considers abortion as a ritual act, and they use that tenet as well so that no matter what state you're in, you can't be persecuted for having an abortion because it is your religious right. And by the way, this religion, before I go any further into it, it is called the Satanic Temple because it is mainly a group of atheists that do not believe in Satan or God or anything of the nature. Most of the people in this religion are atheists. And so they're not actually worshiping Satan. It's a completely satirical religion. However, they do a lot of charity work. And they also use their religion to benefit people who are atheists, who are basically like, this isn't fair. Like, why can't we have, religious excuses just to do stuff? So now they have the Satanic Temple, and don't let the name scare you because it's just a bunch of atheists. So the fourth is the freedoms of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend. To willfully and unjustly encroach upon these freedoms of another is to forego one's own. So basically, with that one, what you're saying is, I have the right to offend you, and you have the right to offend me, but I do not have the right to stop you from doing something that you want to do. And you also don't have that same right on me. And for me to basically say like, hey, no, I don't think you should do that just because I don't think you should do it, or because that's going to hurt me, You know, like, you can't do that. So if you're in a position where one of your friends is like, hey, can I buy that sweater from you? And, you know, they're like, I really need it. I'm super cold. The right thing to do, in my opinion, is, of course, give your friend the sweater. But let's say, you know, you're like, well, this is my grandma's sweater, and you're a very messy person. I don't want you to have it. Technically, according to these rules, they're saying, you know, like, you shouldn't make somebody give you a sweater if that's not what they want to do. But of course, you know, with the first tenet, you know, treat others like you want to be treated, I'd say that would probably override, and you should probably let your friend have the sweater. I'm just saying, it's probably a bad example. Anyways, moving on. So beliefs should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world. One should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit one's beliefs. So right there, they're saying, you know, science is science. You should not change science just to say that that's what it is. Or you shouldn't have anecdotal stories to replace science. So number 6, people are fallible. If one makes a mistake, one should do one's best to rectify it and resolve any harm that might have been caused. That is pretty self-explanatory as well. Say you're sorry and mean it. And number 7, every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word. So basically, no matter what law or, you know, what words in whatever text you could possibly read, those tenets in those guides and wisdom and, you know, empathy should always prevail. So, I don't know. In my opinion, the Satanic Temple, I will give it a 9 out of 10 just because I love satire. And the only thing that kind of is creepy is the name. So 9 out of 10. I think that is probably the coolest religion that we have out there. So, again, I'm going to give you guys one more chance to call in if you have any questions, if you want to comment, if you want to know anything else before we go ahead and close up today's little show that we have going on. And next week, we are going to go ahead and, you know what? And if you guys do want to call in, I'll go ahead and read the phone number for you again. Hold on. 419-971-4102. Go ahead and give us a call. So next weekend, I'm feeling like singing. And I was thinking, maybe we could talk about, you know, the different kinds of people that you would end up meeting in a karaoke bar. I may or may not have used to be a karaoke DJ, and, you know, that's an interesting topic. So maybe we're going to talk about things that people do for fun on the weekends. You know, I'm a single mom, so I haven't really done anything like that in like over a year. But, you know, if I had the opportunity, I would. So maybe I could just live vicariously through my show, and we could act like we're all going out next Friday. I don't know. So let's see. Did anybody else say anything? If not, we're going to go ahead and close out the night. All right. So Serena, Laura, Howard, Tiffany, Leo, Nikki, everybody that enjoyed the show today. I'm so glad that you guys got to watch my show. Thank you. Come again. We will be here next week and every week, Friday at 10 p.m. Catch Flip the Switch here on Facebook. You can also listen to us on iHeartRadio and what's the other one? Spotify. You can find the videos on TikTok. We're on YouTube. Of course, we're here on Facebook. Some of them end up on my personal Instagram page. We haven't actually made an Instagram page for the show yet. We're thinking about getting to it. I don't know if we're going to do that or not. I don't really care for Instagram, but we'll see. So, follow us. Flip Switch Industries, Flip the Switch with Allie. You can also look me up, myself. I'm Allie McDaniel. Hi, nice to meet you. Follow my page as well. So I think that we got all the handles, the hoo-has. I totally didn't mean to say that. That's going in the blooper reel. Okay? Lord, and that's another thing. We're going to have another blooper reel sesh coming up soon. So I know that that's definitely one of my favorite things to do is the blooper reel. So you'll go ahead and see that because that was wonderful. I think that's the first live part that I've ever. We're just going to close out the show now. Because I'm embarrassing myself now. All right. You guys have a wonderful evening. I hope you had a great New Year. Y'all be safe. Stay warm.